celebrations or day of festivities, right? So I don't know who the sister who said that is. I don't know. You said that she was here before.
Yeah, she was here before. She said
Huh?
in the back.
Sister Eve?
Yeah,
Jason.
Okay. I can't remember who that is, to be honest with you, but anyways. So she said that aren't we supposed to have two ayat?
2 weeks.
Hmm?
2 weeks.
Two
Eids.
ayat in Arabic.
Yeah.
You speak Arabic, right?
Nah.
So we're supposed to say
Yeah.
ayat. We have two ayat. One of them is
Eid
Eid
al-Fitr.
al-Fitr.
huh?
Eid al-Fitr.
Eid al-Fitr, and the other one
Eid al-Adha.
is Eid al-Adha,
It's my
right?
favorite.
Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, and they are part of what? Huh?
The deen.
Not the aqidah. Are they part of the aqidah or the deen?
What do you mean?
Are they part of the aqidah or part of the deen?
Part of the.
What's Aqidah is part of
I'm asking you.
Part of the. Part of the media.
Hmm?
part of the deen.
A what? Part of what?
Media.
The what?
Media. Media.
Al-millah? Al-millah, al-millah. Okay, so they're part of our deen, right?
Yes.
And the deen is the deen of Allah, right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you listening or no?
I'm
Or you want to
listening.
leave?
I'm listening.
Okay, because if this is not
No. I'm listening.
important to you, it's okay if you want to leave.
Y'all gonna let me know what's going on right
No,
now. I'm not telling you, bro.
No,
Hmm? No? Because he brought it up.
I'm here.
You guys
So
okay?
you eat turkey, man.
Hmm? Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I know I've said this before, because you always have to go first on what's in the Quran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Hmm? So if you want to translate that in English would be,
12 months.
no, the whole thing. إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ 12 شهرا.
The number of months for Allah is 12 months.
Or to Allah.
Or 12.
Right? Because these are based on time, the time concept,
Yeah.
right? Which is a lot of factors are involved in the time concept, including night and day, including sun and moon, right? Follow me, just follow me. Come with me. Okay, so because they say, well, Eid and Eid, how does the Eid come? How does Eid come? You have to ask yourself that, correct? Right. And all of this is instructed by Allah. So Allah is telling you and I, for a certain reason. First of all, how many months? Allah says, Itna, 12. Right? Ashara Shahra. He says, ever since Allah created the heavens and the earth, they were 12. They were not 13, 14, 15, 12. That means, even before our existence, even before Adam, right? يوم خلق السماوات والأرض 12 شهرا. Who's first, we or the sun and moon? The sun and moon, right? Is a part of the heavens and the earth and all of that, right? So now you have night and day and the sun and moon. We as Muslims, we know the coming and the leaving of each month based on what? Al-Hilal, right? Al-Hilal. Al-Hilal, correct? The moon in Arabic is Al-Qamar. I'm not playing with you, I'm taking you somewhere. Right? Al-Qamar. That's the moon. Yes, are you good?
Yes.
I'm not losing you yet, right?
No,
Okay,
no.
so what's Al-Qamar?
Moon.
Moon. Hilal?
Crescent or something.
Crescent. Right? Al-Hilal is the crescent. So we know the birth of each month based on Al-Hilal or Al-Qamar? Huh? Al-Hilal. Al-Hilal. Right? Al-Hilal, yes, sir. Is it mentioned in the Quran, Al-Hilal?
I don't know.
Subhanallah. Yani Arab, oh, you should know.
Come on, Sammy.
No.
That's why I pick on you all the time.
Come on, Sammy.
Picks on you all the time. Come on, man.
Come on, Sammy.
Craziness.
Have you read the whole Quran?
No.
All of it.
No,
Have you read the whole Quran?
no.
Who has read the whole Quran?
I have read the whole Quran.
You did.
You memorize the whole.
And he did not remember he did.
This makes me want to leave.
Hmm? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ.
Oh, that's good.
You remember now, right?
Yeah.
Which is in Surah.
No.
Tell me. Huh? البقرة يا أخي. ويسألونك عن الأهلة. قل هي
مواقيت للناس
للناس والحج.
والحج.
سبحان الله.
Dang.
You're not sleeping, Kimberly, right?
That's deep.
Okay.
That's
So we have Hilal. We have Qamar. Ahilla is what?
Like the plural of Hilal.
The plural of Hilal. One Hilal, which is Hilal. Hilal is what?
Crescent.
Crescent.
You never catch this when you read it. Bro.
Crescent. One crescent. Ahilla,
Many.
many crescent. Did Allah says يسألونك عن الأقمار الاصطناعية? Allah says الأهلة. يسألونك عن الأهلة. They ask you, O Muhammad, about الأهلة. قل هي مواقيت. Time. There's the time factor. مواقيت للناس. أهلة. So we as Muslims are supposed to go by Ahillah. Right? So when we want to know about Ramadan, did the Prophet says, watch the sun? Did the Prophet say, watch the moon? He said, watch the Hilal. فقالوا صوموا لرؤيته وأفطروا لرؤيته. That's how you say. He says, fast when you see it, al-hilal. And that marks the birth of a new month. The full moon is what? Always
Middle.
the middle, the half of the moon, of the month, right? And then it starts to go. So it starts like this, and then until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Yasin, حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. Right? You know how the hilal sometimes become that's
It's like a fingernail.
yeah, it's like very thin, right? And that would mark the end of a month and then the beginning of another month. So I'm saying all of this to say that literally we have to go not by November or December or 31 or 28th or February or March. We have to go by
Islamic calendar.
like what is this month?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Huh?
I have no idea.
You could add
I
it
don't
to
know.
some.
It is JMD.
جمادى
الجمادى
جمادى الأولى ولا الثانية؟
الأولى.
Yeah, look at your phone.
I don't have one.
Jumada 1.
One.
Right.
الأولى.
So there's جمادى الأولى
Come on.
وجمادى الثانية. I'm only saying this to make a point as to the fact, which is very sad, even for me and all of us now.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what month it is, as we know that we are in November. You can ask any Muslim now. They know November. But what's November? What is it? You know what these names came from?
Roman.
Hmm? And they came as for pagan gods,
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
like August
Oh, yeah.
and September and all of that, right? So I have a problem with Thanksgiving, but November it's okay,
Ooh.
and December is okay.
Mm.
Yeah?
That's good.
Allah said, do you know that there are some scholars, like for all seriousness, do you know that there's some scholars that they are very big on this? And they said that's a big sin. They even, because the deen said the hilal. Our deen said the hilal. Now, I know that sometimes the world go by who is big in terms of civilizations. Like now the West is big, right? So you have to follow. Once upon a time, the Muslims were on top.
We'll come back.
Right? So then, as you were saying in your khutbah before, right? and they were on top, and everybody follows. Even the Arabic was very popular back then,
Yes.
right? But now it's the opposite. And all of a sudden, you can go to any Muslim country except for a few, right? You go to their schools. I remember when I was a kid, they used to at least put like they called it the Miladi Tarikh, the date of Milad. And Milad meaning, because Milad is the birth of Jesus. That's how they go, right? In terms of years. So they were 2022, which dates back to the birth of Jesus, give or take, right? And they said Miladi, but at least they used to. Nowadays they don't do that. So they don't go by the Hijri, which is the Muslim calendar. Right, Akhi? Jumada, and then the date. That's one, right? So based on these, we have those two a'yad. Hilal. We know Ramadan by the Hilal. The end of Ramadan, we have to know by 29, 30, how? The Hilal. But if the Hilal is covered, 30, right? So the Prophet ﷺ said that the month is 29 or 30, right? And so sometimes if you just say complete 30, and then after that, you do
6 days.
Eid, which is what month?
Shawwal.
Shawwal. First day of Shawwal. Allah has given us that as a Eid. Celebration. Festivity. You were fasting for a whole month. You were doing Qiyam al-Layl. You were doing all of that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, now you have an Eid for you to celebrate, to have some festivities, to laugh, to have a good time, and then to also do the dhikr of Allah for what Allah has guided you. Because all of this is guidance from Allah. Right? Allah is telling you about Iddat al-Shuhur, about the Ahila. يسألونك عن الأهلة. They ask you about Ahila, tell them the Ahila. This is what they're for. مواقيت للناس, and then Al-Hajj. Al-Hajj is what? Dhul Hijjah is what month is that? The last one. Right? It's not December. It's Dhul Hijjah. Right? And after Dhul Hijjah comes Muharram, which is the first of the year of the Muslim calendar. Right? Now, in the other Eid is Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha is when? What month is that?
Hajj. The month of Hajj.
Dhul Hijjah, the month of Hajj. Right? Which is what day?
10th.
Hmm?
Is it the 10th?
10th of Dhul Hijjah. Right? Which for, if you are in Hajj, it marks the end. Right? You finish. Ritual? With that. Correct? And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَسْأَلُكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. He says, مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. Right? And that's how you know. And then in that Eid, we celebrate by commemorating the tradition of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Right? When he was ordered to sacrifice his son, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a ram or sheep for him to sacrifice instead of his son, right? And then that was like a tradition. And so the Prophet ﷺ, on that day, he brought 2 rams. And he says, this is for me and my household, and this is for my ummah, right? And so sometimes if you have money, you can do that. If you don't have money, you don't have to do that, right? And the people. But the bottom line is that it is a day of festivity. Right? It's a Eid. They call it Eid. And these are the only 2 Eid. And they are connected to the deen. That's why they unionize all the Muslims all over the world. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't fall on the same day, which is very sad. But they're supposed to unionize. Because they are from the same religion. Right? From the same deen. So no matter where you are, you celebrate it. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, right? Now, let's go to something like the 4th of July, or Thanksgiving, or some other stuff, or, I don't know, what other, like Labor Day, right?
Memorial Day, yeah.
Memorial Day, all that stuff. are those connected to religion at all?
No.
What are they?
They're just
Secular.
American.
Thanksgiving.
That's secular, but that to
And
me,
that's a terrible.
what's that?
Anyway.
But Thanksgiving is connected to the din, right?
How is it connected to deen?
No.
Shukr. When you give.
No.
No.
What isn't shukr an ibadah?
Akhi, how is it connected to a deen, to a millah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Oh, you mean an actual religion?
In a religion, how is it connected to it? It's not. I mean, if you say Christmas, I'll agree with you, even though it's false, but I'll agree with you. If you say Christmas is connected, yes, I agree. Right?
No, what I meant is like,
But Thanksgiving, religion, no.
no, but like, what I meant is like, let's say you're appointing a certain day for everyone to give shukr, right?
Mhm.
Shukr is an ibadah, right? We know that it's an
Right.
ibadah.
But how are they given? So sometimes people gather in Thanksgiving and they have no idea. But I'm not saying they don't have any idea. Like they don't have even God in their minds at all.
You just
And
wanna
so they
eat.
say no. So sometimes they say, well, what are you thankful for? And then they start to say stuff and blah blah. But there is in no way connected to religion at all.
That's all I needed to hear.
Like, you just want to return.
I see y'all.
Yeah. So,
It's all like-
That's all I need. I got my answer.
so it's different from like Christmas, for example, right? Or Easter, for example, or some other religious festivities that are connected. That's when the discussion comes in, whether it's right or wrong, or it's false, or it's correct, whatever. That's when we can actually debate on it, right? So in some countries, even Muslim countries, right? Some have Independence Day. I don't know if they have that in Sudan or no, but you go to any Muslim countries, they have a day like that. If you don't celebrate a day like that, what people call you? You say it.
And,
If you don't want to recognize that day in Sudan, for example, how would you be labeled?
That you hate the watan.
خاين انت خاين
Yeah.
خاين الوطن انت
Yeah.
huh? That's the وطني, right? So you have to show
What's
you have
that?
to like you are treasonous.
Oh,
So let's say someone does not want to celebrate Independence Day in the U.S.
you're like not.
What would they
yeah.
say?
Well, you're not.
You hate the
patriotic,
US.
Yeah.
You don't like the U.S. I'm just saying.
Right.
But this is how you're going to be labeled, right? Is it a religious that day in Sudan? Is it connected to religion?
No.
No.
Well-
It's connected to some political agenda
Patriot.
or some
Patriotism.
patriotism
Yeah.
or whatever, like socialism, whatever you want to call it. But it's in no way connected to religion at all. And some people see in it nothing but food. That's all they see. Right? Like to them, 4th of July, a good barbecue.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm coming for. They don't know nothing about 4th of July. They don't know about Independence Day. They don't know nothing about and some people don't even care about that. Right?
Yeah.
Some people are about patriotism. No, I'm patriot. And then they show the colors, blue, white, and red, and all that stuff. Now, yes.
So you know how sometimes the holidays are not connected to other people's religion, but because they are but they are to our religion, then we're not allowed to participate in them.
Right.
So wouldn't that
Now,
be
the example I gave you is that even in some Muslim countries, including Saudi Arabia, and so many, there's not just one. There's so many. Do you know that in some Muslim countries, they have more of those holidays than in the West? More of them. I can count so many in Morocco, to be honest with you. And they take it off, and people like it.
You just want
Right?
a day off for it.
And they get paid for it.
Yeah.
Right? They call it this and they call it that. I don't know. They come up with stuff. I know they have Mother's Day, they have Father's Day, they have Men's National Day, they have Women's National Day. I don't know what else. They keep on
But they
adding,
celebrate
adding,
the
adding,
Prophet's
right?
birthday,
But
right?
in no way. Like for example, on 4th of July, right? 4th of July. Or Thanksgiving, right? When you observe it or you don't want to observe it, that's up to you, right? Or how even you want to approach it, correct? Because you can be in the same table with some people with different intentions, right? Some see in it, maybe as you said, maybe, I don't know, some will see it as religion. and some will see in it nothing. All I'm not seeing here is mashed potatoes and green beans and all that stuff. That's all I'm coming out for. Have a nice day. Some people would not see each other except on that day. Some families.
True.
That's why there's travel, right?
What about if they pray over the food? Like,
That
a lot
is
of people-
different. That is different because that happens every day. As a matter of fact, they're not gonna pray on that food, right? There are some people who pray on each meal,
Yeah,
and they want you to pray with them. And at that point, you say
nothing else.
no,
But you can still
and
eat
then
the food.
you explain to them why. You don't just say no and just be rude. You have sometimes to you have to do what we said before, not mira, jidal.
Yeah.
Right, you can talk to them and then explain it to a certain degree. If it gets heated, you refrain yourself. And you say,
Assalamu
Alu
alaikum.
salam. إذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلام. ما قال الله سبحانه, no, you have to enter. Yes, go ahead, so that we can finish.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
we're,
just to
we're
summarize,
stretching this thing. It's almost 10 o'clock.
because I feel like people are getting
Huh?
bored. But to summarize,
Yeah.
yeah, to summarize what you said about Ahilla and Hilal, so because Thanksgiving is not attached to that,
Mm.
it's not really like,
So is the Independence Day in Sudan, Morocco, and they're not attached to Ahilla.
yeah.
The Prophet
So-
ﷺ never said, look for the
So then they don't
Independence
become
Day.
they don't become a Islamic holiday. 'Cause
They're not religious at all. They're not connected to no religion at all.
No, I'm trying to understand what's the point of the Ahilla and everything.
The Hilla, I wanted to prove the point of the origin of the A'yad. Because a lot of people don't even know. They say they're religious, but they don't even know. You ask them why, and they be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right? But it goes back to that. Because how do you even appoint an Eid or nobody? You have to go by the Hilal.
But what about like your birthday?
That's another story, man. We don't want to be until.
But when you're talking about the
But did you
Eids-
guys get the Independence Day thing?
Yeah.
I hope the sister was here. But
Well, I just
That's
reported
all I
that.
have to
So,
say.
but like there was somebody that we knew that called Morocco one day
Mhm.
on the Prophet's birthday, and they were all Eids.
That's
Eid
that's
Mubarak,
another
Eid
story.
Mubarak," and then they.
That's another story.
Yeah, and they
Right?
got mad. They said if you're in Morocco and you don't say Eid Mubarak to someone on that day, they will like almost beat you because they think you're really being
We
Do
don't
you,
know.
do you agree with the?
disrespectful.
We
Eid
don't know
al-Mawlid?
people about that here.
They celebrate it in Sudan, huh?
Yeah,
And if you don't,
I don't.
no,
But
if
they
you don't,
get mad, right?
They
If you
get
don't.
mad, oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But what do they call you?
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Because when this girl was like, wait, because she said the same thing. We have two Eids. Why are you saying Eid Mubarak today? What's the big? And then they were like, oh,
So-
There's a
I can't
lot of
believe-"
stuff like that
Yeah.
too.
So in Saudi Arabia, this is very funny. In Saudi Arabia, right? At one point, which they call Wahhabism, and I think we talked about Wahhabis before and stuff like that, right?
It's fake.
I didn't say it's fake, and I didn't say I don't have a lot of stuff to say about it, but we've said what we said before, and how all those firaq, which
No,
I don't agree with
I
none.
meant the term Wahhabism.
Right.
Just like,
Right, but Wahhabis for some is something, Wahhabis for others is something, and then it differs, right, for each group. And they can label you whatever they want,
yeah.
right? And they can see you. You see yourself good, they see you otherwise, right? When we're the beginning, I said, stay away from the firaq, stay away from that. Right? There's Muslim and that's about it.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, and the reason I'm saying that is because this is how the firaq sometimes it's a funny business. Right? Now, at one point in Saudi Arabia, you say Eid al-Mawlid, and in Saudi Arabia you mention Eid al-Mawlid. What happened? Huh?
You be jailed.
Or something.
Yeah.
But at least you will be frowned upon in the worst way possible. That's the least that can happen, right? In Saudi Arabia. There's no say, what? And then there's bid'ah. And all of a sudden, this crazy kid who's taking over now, right? And what are they saying now about Eid al-Mawlid and about singing?
They're practicing.
The ulama, some of them, they were students of some ulama, right? And now, you know what they're doing? They try to find ways. Yeah, we're not saying that, but it's okay if you do. Ya akhi, only yesterday you were saying it's haram and it's bid'ah. Only yesterday you were saying that. And now you find, why? Because they're afraid of it. Ibn Salman, you know, the guy who uses the saw? They're afraid of the saw. And so they have to say, oh no, you know what? All of them. I don't want to name names, but all of them. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but that's how it is. You see what I'm saying? So if you really have a principle, those with principles, they're in prisons now.
Yeah.
And they're dying in the prison. Because they held on to their. I have more. I may not agree with everything they say, but at least I have more respect for them, right? Because you're not flip flopping.
They're consistent.
Now there's other ones. They flip real quick.
They don't want
And
to
they
end
say, well,
up
what
in
happened yesterday?
acid.
You were just saying this, and you were beating down on people, and some call them kuffar, just like the Khawarij said. Some call them mushrikeen. Some call them this. Whereas, as a matter of fact, you cannot even say that unless you have proof of kufr. Like real proof. The Prophet ﷺ said, until you see kufr bawah. You know what kufr bawah is?
Like clear kufr.
Clear kufr. To the point that some ulama said, until the person says to you, comes say, I am a kafir. And to that point. Otherwise, you cannot call him kafir. I'm going to stop here, because now I'm getting mira. And I want to go there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us with what we've learned, and help us inshallah, practice it.